again, hey, we're in the middle. We're not even in the middle. We're at the beginning of a rebuild. Let's take this for what it is. We didn't think they were going to be a great team.
Great. I didn't think they're going to be average.
Good. Right.
I think what I'm coming to terms with, and maybe this is the thing to throw out there this morning, can you really live with giving a free pass to these guys? Well, they deserve it, okay? They deserve a fair opportunity here for a couple of years to show that they're turning the corner, okay?
But if they don't in 2 years...
Me personally, as a fan, I'm really having problems with giving a free pass.
Well, then the free pass that you don't want to give should be go after the ownership. And then these guys just got hired, okay? It should be the ownership who did not fire Patricia and Quinn early enough. It's, who did not, put her foot down and say, draft a quarterback. I mean, that's where the free pass should be.
She's not a football person. She shouldn't. How is she going to say, you know what, you need to draft a quarterback? She doesn't know.
That's true.
She should have been able to get enough advice to move on from their coach, move on from their GM, so somebody else who knows could make that decision.
I mean, it was a catastrophic decision to keep them last year.
Yeah, it was. Our telephone number 248-539-9797, 97.1.
Rock songs that'll crank up the good times. Tailgate Rock, the new Odyssey exclusive station. Get it on the Odyssey app today. Brought to you in part by Macy's, Geico, and Coke Zero Sugar. WXYT FM and WXYT HD1 Detroit. An Odyssey station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. From the Sold by Mike Z Sports Desk. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Brought to you by Twin Peaks. Tigers just keep winning against first-place teams. Now 8 of their last 11, defeating the White Sox for a second straight game at home, 5-3, with multiple hits from 6 different players in the lineup, including a 4-for-4 day from Victor Reyes. They grinded away at the Sox and eventually went ahead. Manager A.J. Hinch says this is just the way they operate.
I think our team finds ways to win. You can't just turn it on and off daily. You have to be prepared every day for when the opportunities come up. And I love that about our team is that we keep staying in there and practicing, prepared for it. We have no fear. We may make a mistake or two, but it's okay because we're going to keep coming at it.
This afternoon's game looking like it could be a little soggy. We'll give you an update on it if they're going to be taking on the White Sox for that finale today in downtown Detroit.
In 6.1 miles, turn left onto Northwestern Highway.
To start preparations for their Week 3 matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. Another tough game to try to get into the win column for the first time this season. Those Ravens coming off a huge victory over the Chiefs during Sunday Night Football. And training camp opening up this week for the Red Wings in Traverse City with the season fast approaching. We're now 1 week away from their first preseason game versus the Chicago Blackhawks. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, stay tuned to 97.1 The Ticket and Odyssey.com.
Live from the Jamie Samuelson Studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
97.1 The Ticket. It is the Stoney and Jansen program, along with Greg, Gov, and Gov needs to shut off his Zoom. There we go.
I did.
All right, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. How's everybody doing?
I get shouted out in 10 seconds and somebody's done an entire segment with it before.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure it sounds okay. But look, I get shouted out all the time for when I show.
It's amazing. I got you guys in stereo now. We got everything fixed up, but now I've got Stoney in one ear, I've got Tom coming in the other ear, but all I have is one voice, or at least it comes in as one voice. So everything is looking good. I'm not sure where Heather's going to appear. Heather, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Morning, John.
There you go. You're with Stoney.
Better than it was 5 minutes ago, right?
Yeah. 5 minutes ago, I was a little bit nervous that we weren't going to have the connection, but the engineers, Greg, did a phenomenal job, and here we are.
Yeah, me too. Nervous.
Blame it on the rain. Lisa.
See, they did a
Holy cow, was it raining yesterday?
And it's still raining today.
This is a day like today is where I'm envious of you two. That commute
highway.
Screaming at Teddy already?
Oh, no. You can't scream at a 6-day-old baby, however many days it is.
I know.
Bend your knees. Get low.
Head level.
He may be screaming at me quite a bit. He's the one that's going to be hoarse, but now we're working through it. So it's. But last night the rain. I did pick up my mother-in-law from the airport, and it was, I don't know, right around 5 o'clock, and we were coming back. The rain hit when I got just about when I got back to Plymouth, and there is just one underpass when you get on Sheldon, and normally it drains even if it rains extremely hard. It was literally 1.5 to 2 feet deep, and it looked like the water was actually flowing uphill. I felt like I was Forrest Gump.
Wow.
The rain was actually coming up from the bottom. There's been so much rain. There's been so much water. It has nowhere to go.
It was weird yesterday. It started, it's raining, and then all of a sudden it stopped for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. The sun was out for a little bit, and then it started raining again, and probably it's going to rain through tomorrow, right?
Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Raider, Stoney.
Yes. Yeah, explain that. Years ago, instead of saying radar by mistake, I said Raider.
Is that what Boba Fett looks at?
There is a wall of rain that does not look like it's going to stop all day long. Like, we may have some serious problems here today.
Very good.
It's like dark green, and it just keeps coming and coming and coming.
Tiger baseball this afternoon.
Not happening. Just call it off now. Make everybody's life easier. But don't make the person do the pregame.
There's not going to be any fans there anyway. Except they're going to make like 5 people will show up to have a hot dog. That'll be their concessions. You're right.
They did make a good call yesterday, moving that up.
Yes, they did.
I don't think they would have got the game in last night.
No, I don't think so either. That's what I mean. Because then they would have to try to do a doubleheader today, and that wouldn't have worked.
So, 3 options on the table. Number 1, don't make it up, which is my favorite option.
Which I think is going to happen.
Number 2 is to, they share a date next Monday off. And since it's the end of the year, they may sacrifice a day off.
Yeah.
And then number 3 is to play a doubleheader in Chicago Friday night to end the season.
That would probably make the most sense. Because the White Sox are going to have the division.
That'll interrupt Delaney's show then.
Oh, well, can't do that.
Thank you.
Seriously, that would make the most sense because, the White Sox already are going to clinch. They were going to clinch last night. They did. So they'll have it by then. The Tigers have really nothing to play for unless you consider, oh boy, we have to play this game just so we can have a chance of going to 500. League already had it. League's not going to get 3,000 picks, so there's really no reason to come back here, play in Chicago. It's only the off day.
No, the 24th is the day. The only day they got to make sure they get it in. Isn't the 24th the appreciation day for Miguel Cabrera?
Yeah, so in fact, that's tomorrow. That's Friday, right? Tomorrow's Saturday.
Tomorrow's Thursday.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Thursday, yes. Wow.
Couple things. Number 1 is AJ Hinch. I heard him in the update. Man, if the Lions can learn anything from the Tigers this year, it's just to continue to compete and try to get better. Right? That's all we can hope for at this point. I think the Tigers it's extremely admirable what they are doing here. Beating all these good teams late in the season, and they're moving towards 500. They may not get there, but man, I would have thought they've gone over the win total already.
Yeah, it said they're 74 and 78. They've won 4 straight games. They won yesterday 5. People contribution. He had 2 RBIs. Victor Reyes had 2 RBIs.
Right, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, the Lions roster is not that great. The Tigers isn't either, but they're competing.
Okay, but here's the question that we'll get into. Later down in the season, Gov, are you going to really want them to win those games? Or will you have to sacrifice draft position?
All right.
I mean
I'll take something for the wide 9 at 6:35.
I mean, that's the big question.
There's going to be a draft question in there already. Week 2.
Yeah.
I would also say we were feeling this way about this Tigers team 1-8 into this season for the Tigers.
Yeah, they won. Were they 9 and 24? In that effect?
Yes.
I remember we were going down batting
That game's
averages.
over 500 since then.
Right. They
shambles at times in terms of what they had at that point.
No Turnbull.
Yeah, and then you rely on
They're a
rookies.
team that has been able to manufacture runs and wins.
Maybe
They're not doing it on just pure talent.
maybe tomorrow, we got a ton planned today, but maybe tomorrow, Friday, the legitimate case for AJ Hinch is managing the year.
It's either going to be him or the guy that idiots like me that was too old. I mean, LaRusso's done a great job. Now, granted, they have a lot of talent. But I was watching some of the baseball game. I was eating dinner last night, the Tampa game with Toronto. And they were talking about AJ Hinch, but they also talking about LaRusso as well. And they said that we talked to other managers and baseball people, and they said he hasn't lost anything since we had the time off, obviously.
Yeah.
So he has to be considered. It'll be very interesting to see how much support AJ
In 1
Hinch does
mile,
get.
turn
Because
left
he
onto
deserves
Northwestern
it.
Highway.
And then the difficult spot of next year, going from where they are now to the next step. A lot is going to have to be based upon what happens in the off season.
Who they get? So I said two things. I got something else to put on your guys' docket. I was talking to our boss, Jimmy, yesterday. Had some scheduling stuff, and we kind of, worked our way into this. October 30th in college football. Oh my God. Now, we all know the big game, right?
In Michigan State.
Yeah.
We also have that day Penn State, Ohio State. We have ranked Ole Miss, Auburn. We have the world's largest, I can't say, cocktail party,
Yeah.
Georgia, Florida. That's ridiculous. UCLA, Utah. That's solid. A solid, I'm talking this is a 5th, 6th game here at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Iowa, Wisconsin.
Solid game.
I have got one more ranked, double ranked. North Carolina, Notre Dame.
Yeah, I'm supposed to go on with
I know.
You're right. I mean,
Make it this though.
no, I'm just saying.
Go past this light. Then use the left 3 lanes to turn onto Northwestern Highway.
I don't know if we've ever had a day like that. The Big Ten East is going to be largely decided that day. And then the West
Turn left.
with Iowa, Wisconsin.
Pretty much. Was it 2 years ago they had LSU, Alabama, Penn State, Minnesota. There was a couple more. And it was, I want to say it was the second weekend in November.
Yeah.
I would talk about
Starting
that
route to
one
6760
simply
Banner Street.
because of
Proceed
the
to Northwestern
massive
Highway. Then
implications. And
continue
it
straight.
was a 1-2 versus Alabama and LSU and Joe Burrow and all
In
that stuff.
3.5 miles, turn right
Or
onto
you have
Franklin Road.
potentially, if the Big Ten, if Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, and Michigan State all run the tape, you'd have 3 of undefeated, one loss Ohio State, all would be ranked in the top 10.
How about this? I mean, obviously they won't all be defeated, but the last game of the season, I believe, Michigan, Ohio State, obviously, and Penn State, Spartan State, and it's the end of the Big Ten regular season. That could be sick.
Stay in the left 2 lanes.
Yeah, you have 4 teams maybe with one loss playing for the Big Ten East, or a couple of them being undefeated in college. College could be up.
slate of college football this weekend. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older, Michigan only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help. Excludes Michigan disassociated persons.
97.1 The Ticket. Traffic.
From the WWJ AM 950 Traffic Center, this report brought to you by Detroit 4 Fest, powered by Jeep. 75 northbound at Schaefer, all lanes are still closed due to an earlier jackknife semi. Again, you can use 94 Jefferson as possible alternates, but keep in mind bleeding is the other issue.
Go past this light.
On the exit
Then
to
at the next
Hargrave
one,
Detroit
turn
blocked by
right.
a disabled vehicle. Detroit 4 Fest, powered by Jeep, is back this Saturday and Sunday at the Holly
At the light,
Off-Road Vehicle
turn
Park.
right onto
Turn
Franklin
wheels,
Road.
Horses and trails in your 4x4 or side-by-side. Register your vehicle now before the event sells out at Detroit4Fest.com. That's Detroit, the number 4, Fest.
In 1.1 miles, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Franklin Road.
Michigan, this is the story of Kaylee, who was unvaccinated.
I got COVID and was hospitalized for a month. I was 39 weeks pregnant. I couldn't breathe at all. I had a blood clot in my lungs. It caused me to go into right-sided heart failure. There was lots of talk about putting me on a ventilator. I thought I was gonna die. I was worried that he was gonna grow up without a mom. You know, being 27 and a mom and a wife and having that all almost taken away from me. It's scary. And if a vaccine can prevent that from happening, why not?
Find your vaccine at michigan.gov/COVID vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Applied Imaging is more than an office technology and solutions company. Listen to Applied Imaging's customers discuss Applied Imaging's unique culture. Jay Sapolsky of Hinton Transportation Investments.
Our experience with Applied Imaging has been phenomenal. Any work they've done for us
At the roundabout, take the second exit onto Franklin
It has
Road.
saved us countless man hours, and we've made good friends along the way.
Kristen Vandebussy of ADAC Automotive.
Well, I think they have a good diverse group at Applied Imaging, which includes men and women and people who are in different areas of specialty.
In half a mile, take a slight right turn onto Telegraph Road.
Promoted women and that women are visible.
Eddie Bartek of Resurrection Life Church.
I feel like I've gotten to know them and they've gotten to know me. It's nice to work with someone in business that you feel actually cares about helping you do your job better.
Applied Imaging, a company that cares about you and your results.
What's up, Michigan fans?
Go
Jay
past
Buck
this
here.
light.
Come see me
Then at
this
the next
Saturday
one,
at the
take a
Rutgers
slight
versus
right
Michigan
turn.
game with the WinBet team and 97.1 The Ticket. We will be at the AAA parking lot on Main Street with the DJ, prizes, food truck, and much more. Betting is a team sport. Bet together at WinBet.
Microban 24 protects against Staphylococcus aureus and Enterobacter aerogenes bacteria, but does not provide 24-hour protection against viruses. Every time you touch a surface, you leave behind bacteria. Use Microban 24 sanitizing spray to keep surfaces sanitized all day. Spray on hard surfaces to kill 99.9% of bacteria and viruses initially, including the virus that causes COVID-19. Microban 24 keeps killing bacteria for 24 hours, touch after touch. When used as directed, Microban 24, touch after touch, it doesn't give up. This is Renee.
Happy to be here.
She's not some influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker, turning her 4-acre lot into a little slice of heaven behind the wheel of a John Deere 1 Series tractor.
At the light, use the right lane to take a slight right turn onto Telegraph Road.
That's all I got.
Nothing runs like a Deere. Get a 1 Series tractor for just $99 per month at your John Deere dealer today. For additional cost information, please call toll-free 855-633-2315.
Dell's semi-annual sale is the perfect opportunity for a significant business upgrade. Save up to 45%
In 6.3 miles, keep left onto Telegraph Road.
10 Pro. Plus, enjoy special pricing on Dell docks, monitors, servers, and more, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. Succeed anywhere with Windows 10 Pro. Speak to a Dell Technologies advisor today to find the right tech for your business with fast, free shipping. Call 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Churches has a deal made for you or all y'all. Choose your favorite tenders of classic style chicken and spicy or original. Sides and biscuits for everyone. So swing by for Church's Feast 6 starting at $20 each. Church's, premium and down. Flavor. Offer valid at participating locations.
Do you have an opinion? Of course you do. Call
Heather Park. Good morning, Heather.
Good morning, boys, and happy fall. This is the first day of fall, and I don't know about you, but I am absolutely excited for a new season. I do love summer. I think summer is by far my favorite season, but fall is a very close second for me. And there is a new survey, and not everybody agrees with my take. 33% of people said summer was their favorite, so almost everybody loves the summer.
Yes.
Followed by 22% who then said spring, and then fall came in third with 19%, and then only 7% of people said that they like winter the best, which isn't that surprising. It depends where you live, of course.
Yes, look, the spring fall debate is basically it's even because spring you like the end of spring, and fall you like the beginning of fall because it gets you into it's just
I'm with John. I'm shaking my head this whole time. No, I'm not with you, man.
The beginning of spring where you get the teas and it's nice, and then it's rainy and muddy and yucky, and it just you never get there. Spring to me is you can take April and keep it. I don't want any part of it. But fall, I like fall beginning to end. It doesn't matter at what phase it is because it's just
I love everything about fall. I love the weather. I love the activities. I love the clothing. I'm so excited for some sweater weather. I'm excited for some boots, some light jackets. I'm excited for all of it. I've already been to a cider mill, even though it was way too hot that day. So I'll be back to another cider mill, I'm sure, over and over and over. I love everything about the fall. So,
John, you talk about how dry fall is. Is today fall, you said?
how dry fall is.
Today's fall. It's not very dry.
Yeah, I didn't say anything about being dry. Leaves changing. I like everything about fall.
Well,
I did mention the beginning
you talked about the rain of spring, and so we have rain of fall. That's what I'm talking about.
We do have a very, very, very rainy fall. And speaking of that, people in Metro Detroit need to be prepared for a lot of rain this week. We got a lot yesterday. It's still coming down today. Weather forecasters are predicting as much as 6.5 inches of rain in some areas through Thursday. So, of course, Metro Detroit residents have been warned to start preparing for yet another possibility of flooding. And I'm sure this is going to happen again to all of the same people who have already experienced it over and over and over. Yeah. So there is a flood watch that went into effect yesterday at 4 p.m. and it will end at 8 a.m. on Thursday. So if you have anything of importance in that basement, make sure you remove it. I mean, try to get anything like that out so if you do have flooding, it's not destroyed again, which is so devastating that people are going through this over and over and over. But it's probably going to happen again. You guys, one person was injured on Tuesday after the Superdome in New Orleans caught on fire. So smoke and flames shot through the side of the Superdome's roof as crews were actually working to clean and prepare the venue to be painted. And the New Orleans Fire Department believes that this fire started in a section of the roofing called the gutter tub after a pressure washer caught fire. Thankfully, they do say the fire most likely didn't cause any major damage. All superficial damage. It didn't appear to compromise the building's structural integrity. The fire was completely put out. One person was transported to the hospital for minor burns, but they do say this fire shouldn't impact any future events, including the team's next home game, which is scheduled for October 3rd. So.
The roof is on fire.
Got it. Michigan woman has been charged with murder days after her 3-year-old daughter was found dead inside a garbage bag. This is such an awful, awful story. The 22-year-old woman pleaded not guilty to one count of felony murder and first-degree child abuse. The girl's mother and the child's grandmother also believes that her daughter is innocent and would never hurt her young child. But according to police, one of the women's brothers found the garbage bag with this child's body inside. She had been stabbed multiple times, and he says that the day before, he had asked his sister where her child was, and she told him to mind his own business, which doesn't mean that she murdered her baby, but that's what he's saying is happening. So just an awful, awful story. Michigan health experts are really hoping to boost the state's vaccination rate, which really has been stuck right around the 65% mark. And while they've been trying to get more people vaccinated, experts kind of looked around to see which Michiganders were beating the average. And Michigan's top county for getting residents protected with the COVID vaccine is actually a prime vacation spot and retirement spot way up north in Leelanau County. So Michigan's highest vaccination rate is in Leelanau County, and they have 83.8% of their residents vaccinated. And so they tried to look at, well, why is that? Why are so many people vaccinated there? And one of the main factors is age. Because like I said, there's a lot of retirees there, and older Americans are generally more receptive to the COVID vaccine, and Leelanau is swarming with the old people. So nearly a third of its population is 65 years or older.
That even makes sense to me.
In 1 mile,
Yep.
keep left onto Telegraph Road.
Guys, let's talk about this Gabby Petito case that just keeps going. Police in Florida did investigate a possible spotting of Brian Laundrie after somebody thought they saw him about 500 miles away from his home. So early on Monday morning, there was a man that says they saw somebody that matched Laundrie's description on a trail camera out in the woods. So he did the right thing, alerted authorities, and you can see the camera footage. And this guy looks very similar. You can't make out every facial feature, but body style, even some of the profile. He's just walking through the woods. He's got a backpack. He does look a lot like Laundrie.
Where was this?
This is in Florida in one of the nature preserves, but very very far away from his home.
Yeah.
Obviously, so if he's been traveling on foot, he traveled a long distance. But police released a statement later saying that they searched that area extensively and they didn't find anyone or anything of interest. So unfortunately, they still have not found him. Meanwhile, in the same case, a coroner has confirmed that the remains found in Wyoming do in fact belong to Gabby Petito, which is what they thought to begin with. The initial determination is that she died by homicide, but the cause of death is still pending a final autopsy.
I mean, hopefully we'll find this guy, Laundrie, and we'll find out, obviously, if he did it.
Did he do it? I mean, to me, it
surely looks like it. But I want to know.
It certainly does.
I want to know why. His fiance, did he just snap and they had an argument?
Well, of course they had an argument. That's what bothers me.
Not necessarily. I mean,
the police were called in Utah because they had an argument. Somebody called the police over a domestic violence situation, and that kills me because obviously there wasn't enough there for them to do anything.
Right.
But if only they could have seen some warning signs when the police showed up. They released that 911 footage. I mean, the body cam. Like, if they could have realized that this woman was in danger then and stopped it, this may never have happened. So there was obviously something going on. They did get into an argument before her death, and it was caught on camera by the police body cam. So well, I don't know.
Well, I probably should have said was there a lingering thing going on before they even went on this trip? I mean, not that type of thing.
Yes, and that we'll have to wait and see. I have seen some articles where some of her friends, Gabby's friends, have said that he did suffer from these, like, I don't know if they call them like manic episodes, but episodes of this heightened, So I hope they find him as well. Finally, you guys, there's a mother-daughter duo who were just arrested in LA after they were busted performing an illegal butt lift operation. I don't get how, I get how it happens because people scam people all the time, but if you're going to go in for a major operation, whether it's cosmetic or not, I mean, do your research, right? If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So this pair was charged with murder in connection to a woman who died after receiving an illegal butt lift. This operation took place at one of their homes. It took place at a residency in September of last year. This victim, she had just moved to LA from South Africa. She wanted to work in the adult entertainment industry, and she received 3 separate procedures, and then she passed away immediately after the third. And police say that this mother-daughter duo had absolutely no medical training and 0 experience. But they also believe there's multiple other victims, maybe not people who died, but went to see them for a procedure. Like, what are they sticking in somebody's rear end? Like, what are they doing?
Thank you very much, Heather. All right, coming up next, another edition of the Y9 here on the Stoney and Jansen program, 97.1 The Ticket.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Coming up Sunday, Week 3 Pro Football, Las Vegas, a 3.5-point home favorite against Miami. The total in this game is 45. Vegas on a 2-0 start. Great win last week in Pittsburgh, while Miami coming off a 35-0 shutout loss against Buffalo. With all of that being said, though, let's take Miami here, and anything over a field goal and anything over 3, no matter who starts at quarterback, the starter or the backup, the starter knocked out of last week's loss against Buffalo. I like Miami to fall inside this number, with Vegas in a rare position here of being a favorite of over a field goal against a team that's pretty good. So Miami plus 3.5, no matter who the quarterback is, to play on Sunday. That's it for this Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Check out the latest lines today at BetRivers.com. I'm Nick Costos. Keep it locked here for more throughout the day. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Taylor Chevrolet is here to help you drive a newer, certified pre-owned car or truck. Upgrading your vehicle is really pretty easy. Leave the details to Taylor Chevrolet. Simply start by applying for credit at helpgetalone.com to get pre-qualified in seconds. All applications are welcome. Get your car straight in value by visiting TaylorChevy.com. Add your cell phone number and click Text My Trade Value. Doesn't get much easier than that. Chevrolet, find new roads. Taylor Chevrolet on Telegraph north of Eureka. Taylor says yes. Yes. Help Mother Waddles to help those in need by donating your car. Your car donation to Mother Waddles will provide food and shelter to the poorest of the poor. Call Mother Waddles today and change a life. Call 313-WADDLES.
Let's just take that out of your mouth.
At Ping's Pre-K, the growing enrollment is no play date. She needs more teachers certified in early childhood development.
Is it nap time yet? Lunch?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast. Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Now that commission-free trading is the norm, it's time to rethink how we define value. Value is more than a price tag. It's the confidence of knowing you have a team of traders on standby to answer any question. It's Thinkorswim's charting and analysis tools, and it's a personalized education to fine-tune your skills. Value is becoming smarter with every commission-free online equity trade. Discover true value with TD Ameritrade, where smart investors get smarter.
This is your time for a good time. Now go live your life to the funnest. Leave boring behind and come to the place made for non-stop action and excitement. Saginaw Eagles Landing, where winning big at all your favorite games, tasty bites, and comfy nights all come together. The possibilities are endless, and so is the fun. It's all here, waiting just for you. So come on, Michigan, let your fun out. Saginaw Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
At Community Financial Credit Union, home loans aren't just for fixing up the house. Access funds to pay for whatever you need, a vacation, home entertainment center, or a wedding. And yes, you can even pay for that dream home renovation. If you're looking for banking that really brings it all back home, look no further than Community Financial. Find out more at cfcu.org or stop by one of our 13 convenient locations. That's cfcu.org. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal opportunity lender. NMLS 440274. This hour of Instant Feedback brought to you by Mike Pacura of National Benefit Plans. For affordable health insurance, call 877-734-2200.
The Detroit Tigers host the Chicago White Sox. Pre-game today at 12:50 on 97.1 The Ticket.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's a staple every Wednesday during the football season. It is the Y9. Here he is. He's more exciting than both Eli and Peyton Manning together. He is the governor, Tom Milliken.
Wow, what a compliment. Thank you, Stoney.
You're welcome.
All right, so Kenneth Walker III has had an outstanding start to the season at running back for Michigan State. What does he need to do to become a bona fide Heisman candidate?
I think he just keeps on doing what he's been doing. However, he needs to have these type of great games in Michigan State's three marquee games against Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State.
I agree. He's got to have the Heisman moment. And it's not that he has to do the Heisman pose, but he's got to have great games in those games. We've seen them start with 75-yard runs against Northwestern. That's great. It's a great way to start the season, and it's a great way to make a statement to put your name on the map. But like Stoney said, just keep doing what you're doing. As long as you are consistent and you continue to put up the same numbers, have big games in the biggest of games, your name is going to be in that conversation.
And in that Miami game, consistent is what he was.
Yes.
His stat line, man, to go on the road and have 27 carries for $172. I mean, what else can you ask? All right, there's a lot of naysayers out there for both Michigan's and Michigan State's 3-0 starts. Why do you think there are so many people that are cynical about the Wolverines and Spartans?
Well, I think one of the reasons they're cynical about the Wolverines is because under Jim Harbaugh, they've always come in and they've won the offseason. And there's been so much hype and fanfare and then so much disappointment when they finally get into the season. It's going to take people a lot longer to buy in to what the Wolverines are doing. For the Spartans, I think they're just, the great unknown was coming into the season. Who was going to be the starting quarterback? We now know it's Peyton Thorne. You know, Kenneth Walker, we just talked about him. What type of season was he going to have? Why was he in the transfer portal? Why was he available? He simply just wanted a different scene and an opportunity at a bigger school. I think it's just going to take some more time for Michigan State.
I think part of the reason for Michigan State being a little under the radar, so to speak, is because the unknown people on the team. People don't really know Mel Tucker. They don't know Thorne. They don't know Walker. They will in time if they keep playing. As far as Michigan goes, it's the competition, and we've seen this stale act before. That's why, and they need to prove it beginning next week.
All right, the Big Ten East is absolutely loaded. And then you also have fifth-ranked Iowa in the West. Who wins the East, and will the Big Ten put a team or teams in the college football playoff?
It's so hard. Look, I think Penn State's probably the best team in the East, but they travel to Columbus this year. I'm going to play the schedule game. I still think Ohio State wins the East, even though they're not as good as they have been. And there will not be a Big Ten team in the playoff.
Oh, wow. I think there's a good chance. I think there's going to be one team. I think it's going to be Penn State. And with all of the defensive question marks that you have in Columbus, I think this is the year that Penn State goes on the road to get the win against Ohio State. Right now, they are the favorite in the Big Ten East. And it's going to be dependent on what happens elsewhere. But I think if Penn State and Iowa meet undefeated in Indianapolis, and it's a great game, I think there's a chance both teams get into the college football playoffs.
They play in the regular season, too.
All right, we're almost a month into the college football season. Who do you think will make the college football playoff?
I think clearly Alabama is out of the SEC. I think Oregon, even though I don't think they're a great team, I think they get in because there's not going to be much competition in the West or in the Pac-12. I'm going with Penn State. I think they run the table in the Big Ten, and I'm going to go with Oklahoma simply because Oklahoma is in the Big 12 right now, and they don't play anymore. They play Iowa State late. They've got Kansas State, which is now ranked 25, and they've had trouble with Chris Kleiman and you know the Kansas State team. But I think they run the table in the Big 12.
The Red River Shootout would be a huge game.
You can't say that.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm going to go with the obvious Alabama. I think Georgia, because their defense is so freaking good, they're getting their wide receivers back. I think they're going to go as well. They'll probably, unless Florida beats them, but they'll probably lose to Alabama in the SEC championship game. I am going to go with Oregon too, and I'm going to go completely off the wall here. I don't think Cincinnati is going to beat Notre Dame. If they do, then it's them. But Brigham Young is going to be the power team from that because they've beaten two teams so far that were ranked when they played them. They still have to play USC, and if they go undefeated, and some things, other teams don't go undefeated, watch out for BYU.
If we do a segment at the end of the year called Bad Takes,
yeah, I know.
That's going to be on.
Well, I said I'm going to go off the road. I want to think of ridiculous, whatever.
All right, are you all in on the Lions getting the number one pick and selecting Oregon defensive end Kayvon Thibodeau? Or would you rather select a little lower and draft ball-hawking Notre Dame safety Kyle Hamilton, who has been compared to Ed Reed?
I love Kyle Hamilton. I love the way he hits. But you're saying, so you want the Lions to win a few games so they don't have the number one pick because you're not taking a safety at number one.
Right.
still a huge fan of the pass rush. Thibodeau's really, really good. Assuming he gets healthy, I would rather them have it that quick.
I can't sit here and say I want them to lose all their games or I want them to be the worst in the NFL. So I'm going to go with the latter, simply because I want them to go out there and try and win every Sunday. I don't know how many they will. I don't know if they will. But I don't want to get into the conversation of, we want them to lose. They need to do this. Or don't go forward on fourth down because you might lose that number one pick. Just go out there, play the games, and your draft position is going to be wherever it is at the end of the year. And if it's Kyle Hamilton, I'm okay with that. We just talked yesterday. You need some dogs on defense. He could be that dog on defense.
Yeah, I think he is the dog. And the reason I really put this in here is to talk about him a little bit more here. I think Kyle Hamilton will end up being the best player in this draft. I think it's going to be by far. I think he's going to be a perennial Pro Bowler. And I kind of compare it to the draft that really ultimately won the Denver Broncos Super Bowl. They were kind of ravaged their roster when they got Tebow and the McDaniels experience and all that. And then they got the second pick and they got Von Miller. And they took a linebacker at 2, which is pretty rare.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Kyle Hamilton could have the same impact on a franchise.
Yeah, Von Miller, edge rusher. That's why I like Thibodeau.
All right, you're more or less confident in Dan Campbell or Brad Holmes than you were when they were hired.
I don't know if I'm either way. I'm as confident. So after 2 games, but just let me finish my answer. So if after 2 games and we've seen what they are, the product on the field, if I'm as confident, I guess that would mean I'm more confident in what they're doing, simply because I still need to see more. I want to see what happens with the draft picks, and I want to see where we've been told, or at least if you take what Dan Campbell said yesterday at face value, we're going to see more